national conference, which has jointly been organized by the Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, India, and also by the Association of Consulting Civil Engineers of our Telangana chapter. While welcoming to speak to our audience, without civil engineering, I was just trying to share my moments with Murthy Garu and Rajkumar Garu. The day starts with, getting up early morning. Either it may be in bedroom that is being constructed by a civil engineer. And in fact, and while we end our day and go to sleep, that too in a room built by a civil engineer. And when we travel to our office space, the roads are built by a civil engineer. And ultimately, we do work that is also built by civil engineers. So without civil engineer, there is no world now. So all the credence and goes to the civil engineers who have built this world, this new India, and also to all the civil engineers who are building the next generation India and next gen Telangana too. All the salutations to all the engineers who have built these beautiful structures, beautiful buildings, and to create a beautiful qualitative life for all the people. So I really congratulate them on this occasion of this national conference. I am not an engineer by profession, but I am very poor in math when I was studying in my school. Math was always a distant dream for me. And I was so scared by, protractor at the time, all the instruments and all, but I could really scrape through with decent marks in the math. Then I made my quite self behave, either I have to go to biological sciences or arts. So both I have selected and I took this path. Ultimately, my job and journey in the politics, especially to see that as a policy maker, I have to be a social engineer. So, to become a social engineer is a very difficult job. You have to understand A, B, C, not to Z, of all the subjects and try to bring out the best policies in whichever field you are and try to improve upon ourselves to see that we bring some qualitative change in the lives of the people. So, now I am into IT industry. Many people would think that I am an engineer by profession. But I keep studying what do you mean by the technology and the new nuances of the technology and new generation technologies, which I have to bring in a policies to see that I, on behalf of the government, could create an atmosphere, a platform, and also act as a facilitator to bring in all the best of the brains who can bring innovation, who can bring excellence in their field. And I am here. When I was speaking to Murthy Garu, when he invited me over to this conference, I was telling I am not an engineer, neither a civil engineer, I am not into a, PWD minister, R&B minister, or some other minister to be here to know the nuances of the next generation technologies. But when Murthy Garu is insisted that I am here to speak few words and really here to learn few things from you too. And when Rajkumar, as yesterday he had come, I was too busy that time with my people around, I couldn't able to meet him, who had come specially to invite me over here. So all the thanks to all the elders on the days and all the eminent people and all the excellent engineers over here. And the next generation engineers, the young engineers, I can see many over here, who are here to learn, who are here to deliberate, who are here to exchange knowledge, who are here to upgrade themselves, upskill themselves, and reskill themselves in this field of civil engineering technologies and to move forward. So I would like to mention here, I have not come here to deliver a ceremonial greetings over here. I am here as a policy maker. Above all, I believe in the power of imagination and especially what you people imagine in materials. Everybody knows here because before a tower rises, when we build some structure, a thought should soar. all engineers, when you think of building, or if you think of building a structure, a thought will come to your mind. But materials, what you choose, is not just your buildings, but it shall help to enhance, to reframe and reform our society. So this is a social angle, what I look into your civil engineering too. And I'm here to say that few facts about our state, how we are trying to bring in a change. Our Chief Minister, Mr. Revanth Reddy, and our colleagues and ourselves, over a period of 1.5 years, why we are trying to infuse thousands of crores into our economy. Especially the capital expenditure which is required for the momentum of economy is most important. But the practicality is we also have to think about the welfare of our people too. I do agree that if the welfare of the people and the size of the amount we take from our budget to the welfare is phenomenal. I would say, it's beyond sometimes our pockets. Over a period of time, if we don't put in our capital or budget to the capital expenditure, which will be mostly into the buildings, into the structures, into the long-term perspective actions of the building phenomena, we can't have the beautiful buildings around for the future generations. Keeping that into aspect, and I would like to mention here what Ram Reddy was also saying in 24-25, I would like to reflect. The Telangana construction sector recorded a robust, when you compare to the national growth, it is about 11.9% is our Telangana growth when compared to 8.1% of the national growth, contributing about 80,000 crores to our economy. It now accounts for 24.9% of the state services gross value added, nearly 1/4 of our services economy. Where services economy, I would like to say contributes about 65% to our economy. This momentum is primarily driven by the Telangana urban transformation and its appetite for vertical expansion. Hyderabad, everybody knows over here, people from the construction industry, most of here, all the leaders are over here. Hyderabad has now over 220 buildings above 100 meters, with another 250 in various stages of design and execution, which shall be, a subject of your discussion for 2 days conference over here. I would like to see that this is not a growth, it's an ascent now. In this ascent, we would like to see that, your contribution is required more. Your experience, your varied experience, your rich experience, how do we take ascent to build the new age technologies for the global world to see? The next generation technologies are here in Hyderabad. This is where we would like to transform and shape and change through your experiences. And I would like to say that we are not merely expanding, we are elevating ourselves. When it comes to so many other things, what I really go through, certain things in terms through newspapers and all, what we see right now, what we see, everybody sees in a concrete jungle, when you start your structures and all. Concrete, I can see that concrete alone can't carry the future because of the paucity and scarcity of the resources what in times to come. And you people already are into job of building on the steel technology. Nowadays, we are moving in the age of rising risk and shrinking margins. Most of the contractors or the stakeholders of this construction industry always, puts in there that their margins are shrinking, and they have the challenges like climate urgency and the increasing urban density, and also the time compression. And over the past few years, we have noticed that traditional RCC roofs are not enough. And composite, the steel structures offer a new playbook for the cities of tomorrow. which shall enhance a 40% of the faster construction. And in terms of the taking load, 30% of the lighter load, we shall save on the foundation stress and superior seismic resistance, lower water and dust pollution during construction, and ultimately it's recyclable, aligned with the circular economy goals of our today. You know, these are all meant to ultimately what Mr. Rajkumar just now was telling about the sustainable constructional activity. These are your and our ethical choices in terms of moving from the RCC to other new age technologies. And in Telangana, I would like to correlate. In Telangana, we are not just talking about innovation. We are trying to live in it. We have seen the steel flyovers under SRDP, which were delivered ahead of the schedule. And we have the Life Sciences Valley, which we have a technology hub which has been built on these structures, enabling adaptive reuse and pre-engineered sheds in our industrial parks, especially in my department. Our cutting-edge technology is what we are trying to really embrace and showcase for our investors. This is our proof, and this is not, I'm not a promise which has been making. This is a proof what we have been trying to tell to all the delegates who have come from the other parts of our India. And I assure you, innovation is not something what we react to. Innovation is something we regulate to. It's something we would like to accelerate to. You know, in recent times with TGDX, we are integrating real-time infra monitoring into digital bloodstream of the street. We are literally monitoring this. And we are also trying to enable digital transparency through, and we recently, our Chief Minister has launched this Build Now portal. And everybody over here on the days or off the days knows about it, which shall enhance speed, accountability, and also confidence into housing proposals. And, you know, as a technology minister, we are trying to embed infra AI into our clusters to stimulate material fatigue, load behavior, and also to bring in life cycle performance. Yes, I would like to mention here, we are moving with a forward to proposal to center and BIS for a national code on composite steel high-rise design. We are just moving on. And we are trying to put it out for the center too. We have a very, you know, basic duty to rise, but not in chaos, I meant to say, but with the discipline, but with a code. As you rightly mentioned, few states have brought in an enactment or a law in terms of the civil engineering. We would like to bring in that sort of a thing in a code. And we need now a smarter kind of building intelligent modular circular structures. Not for now, for the near future. And everybody speaks, a buzzword from my technology side is AI. And buzzword for everybody is a sustainable building structures or sustainable living. You know, this is a buzzword for everyone. So we all have to contribute to see that self-sustainable SDG goals of the UN, which has been prescribed, is the order of the day for the governance, is the order of the day for not only for governance of the state, but also for governance at the national level too, on the international plan too. And I would like to mention, we are trying to build for the next generation, using the new technologies like artificial intelligence. And also when you infuse artificial intelligence plus building information modeling to predict pre-life cycles stress. And we are also mentioning here IoT sensors to monitor post-occupancy performance, that most of the builders are now taking this into the next level. And modular layout that allow future repurposing. Green facades, and everybody are now moving into the alternative energies like solar. They do solar cladding now and thermal skin for breathable skyline. And I would like to mention, and when you are rising your buildings, why I mentioned about the social engineering is, you build, you are made, and you are so efficient and proficient in raising the buildings. And when we never thought a building can be raised these many floors or these many meters, you can make it possible because of your skill and excellence and the talent. As a social engineer, and any height without humility is architecture without a purpose. So all the buildings which you are bringing in, all the structures, all the designs which you are bringing in, and the intelligence you put into that is just not a vanity, it's you are creating a change in the quality of the lives of the people. That's what I see as a social engineer. And I would like to mention here the contribution over a period of time to this sort of a technologies, whether if you have seen in 40s, the technology has varied in 60s to 80s. When the computer and the new technologies has come, you've been using this to bring in the new technologies into future. Now, the generation is shifting. When the generation is shifting, and the next generation, what they think, what they predict about their home, their offices, or their buildings to come, or the roads to be built, is in the new phrase. The man with lots of expertise, a senior engineer with lots of expertise, like I can say the structural engineer, Mr. Murthy Garu, who has been there from 70s, he has to think now of a future for 2050, how the building should look, what the future generation would like to see their buildings, would like to see their homes, would like to see their roads, would like to see their offices. So this they have to dream about, or they have to vision it about, they have to create their skill, they have talent, and put it. You know what technology right now provides, like AI provides everything now at your fingertips. And try to inculcate all this knowledge, all the expertise into this, using this form of technology, and see that the new age technologies are built with your solid, perfect excellence and experience you have. And I would like to mention my favorite subject all through my industry also. How do we take it from the tier 1 to tier 2, tier 3 cities? I was just talking to my friends over here. And how your technology has to reach from tier 1 to tier 2 or tier 3 cities. And how your civil engineering expert minds have to reach to tier 2, tier 3 cities in terms of building structures, in terms of building schools, in terms of, we see, I hail from a very remote constituency where we see old schools. Now you have to move to the vertical schools. And we see the hospitals. Now we have to see the next gen hospitals where we can have the new technological mechanisms over there to put in place. Now we have to see that, the health centers, how we can improve in terms of the infrastructure with modular infrastructure. And we see the hostels or the public buildings, the offices buildings, what we see. So this is all, now over there, it was, that time was, the labor was cheap. And we used to get the material at our doorstep. Now everything is scarce. How do we do that? You have already designed it and you all made it possible with pre-engineered designs and prefabricated structures. And these are all things what is being required, what you have been doing it. What would be the next stage of our technology, the new age technology for the construction? And I would like to see with the deliberations, with the best of the brains over here, best of the excellence over here, Hyderabad should be and must be the prototype. I require all our engineers, all our skilled and talented engineers, and you can treat this Telangana as a lab and create the prototypes which will showcase to the world that we are the leaders for tomorrow. And I would like to mention here, and we should also be conscious of the environment. And we have to build with purpose. So I'm talking about this eco-conscious housing, building with purpose. And we are also trying to lead our way in terms of governance to bring in sustainable policy making and smart housing concept, where we are trying to literally see that in the next 3.5 years, we are trying to build about 5 lakh houses for all our people who shall not say that we don't have a home now under, poor housing scheme that we are trying to build about 5 lakh houses in the next 5 years. This shall also boost our economy. And in the process, what I make a plea or, request to all the engineers over here, we are trying to build a house, a reasonably decent house worth of 5 lakhs. To our brethren who wants a house, a sustainable house. With the new technology, with the resources what we have, please design a house which shall look as a very decent and also has to reflect upon the dignity of the individuals who live over there within the 5 lakhs. Sometimes if I see, the builders like Ram Reddy or my friend Rajshekar Reddy who's sitting over here, they may design the house with a 2-bedroom from 10 lakhs to 1 crore or 2 crores or 3 crores. But we are building for our brothers and sisters who doesn't even have a shelter back at their place to stay. So in the process, our housing minister has come up with this concept to build a house, our chief minister, and our government is committed to build houses of 5 lakh houses for the next 3 years, and we have started it. And please give us a beautiful design model to our housing system because the eminent and the best brains are here. So in the given, cost structure, if something can be built decently where I live, where you live, they have to look upon us. Those people are living in the same place. Maybe in terms of a facade, in terms of creating basic facilities inside, or create using all your best of your tools and talent. If this 5 lakh house can reflect a 50 lakh house or 2 crore house, that can get a great dignity space for our brethren in our state. I would like to appeal to you, if you have any suggestions regarding to this, in this 2 days conference, we would like to really see that our minister will be so, happy to receive all these things. And we are also trying to bring in rainwater harvesting, solar rooftops, and low carbon materials. And always, our, team members mentions about the green building certifications. We are also trying to bring in digital transparency, as I've already mentioned about the Build Now portal. And we are here to build, not just to create some sort of a facility. We are here to create a healthy, green, inclusive communities in times to come. And I would like to urge, don't look all the engineers, the revered engineers over here, many youngsters, because the convicted, with conviction, all the engineers, all the seniors over here who have taken this profession very seriously. But the next generation engineers are very, very fast because the time is so less and they want to make everything in a nutshell in the time frame of 1 year or 2 years. But, it's all about the conviction. It's not about the construction. What I say, it's about conviction. Please don't just pour concrete. You pour your imaginations. We will try to see that all your new design to propose the resilient structures, to build startups around retrofitting and low carbon materials. And you're not just building the buildings or structures. You are building the builders of trust for tomorrow. And I would like to mention, because all the civil engineers who have come from different parts of India are here, the eminent people are over here, why don't you think of starting a center of excellence in this city of Hyderabad, where we would try to create some space for you, create some facility for you, and best of the innovation can be made here, and best of the startups can be moved from, as we do in our software and IT. Why we should restrict to that field? Center of excellence, you can have it over here, and Rameshwar Rao can provide some space over here. So we would be encouraging that sort of activity on behalf of the government too. And lately I would like to see and try to, all these engineers to, have an interaction, how this center of excellence should be and move from here. And this is my kind urge. And, over a period of time, we have created cities, we have built cities. And all these cities, what you people have, these are all, they don't see as structures. These stands for ideals. These just, those stand not as skylines. This reflects our strong legacy and strong history of our cities. So we have created that. And by India's 100th years of independence, our aim, our job, and our responsibility, our Chief Minister already mentioned about it. By 2047, we would like to see that our economy goes by 3 trillion economy. And how we can create the 3 trillion economy depends mostly with you by creating smart cities, resilient housing, and sustainable infrastructure. And I would like to mention here again and urge all the revered engineers over here, let this not be a conference of paperwork. Let this be a blueprint for the tomorrow's national mission. Let us rise, floor by floor, beam by beam, and ultimately your ideas by idea. And reacting to a couple of things what Ram Reddy Gaur was mentioning, and enactment of a civil engineering statute, we will take into cognizance what you have been mentioning about it, and positivity among the real estates. The real estate was at boom for the past 7-8 years. I think real estate now is going to get stabilized. Stabilization takes some time, as everybody knows over here, and we are here to raise the real estate in a big way. How do we do it? We would like to have a dialogue with all the stakeholders of the real estate, stakeholders, the leaders, and our Chief Minister is also keen to bring in a strong, uniform system. Either we are trying to put a new enactment like Hydra, or trying to build or renovate or regenerate the Musi River. These are all things where we would like to create trust in our investors over here. Any property, if somebody from US or Europe or any part of the globe or any part of our India buys, any investor buys a small piece of land, it should be very clear title holding, and we should not be in the bed of the river or a lake. We shall create further problems in future. So we are trying to build a resilient future for tomorrow and to create a strong trust. And these all policy reforms or changes or enactments, maybe slightly creating some disturbances, but ultimately we would like to see that we grow stronger by creating a strong investor trust in us. That's what we are trying to showcase. And time and again we have been, of late you have seen so many dams are also been washed away. In fact, I would like to reflect, civil engineers over here, a year and a half back when we have seen that the barrage of Medigadda has been flown away. It is not the civil engineer. Civil engineer over there who constructed, who designed it, who piled it up, or who have designed the structure, definitely holds accountable. But the point here is, these structures has to be built, has to be designed, has to be maintained by an engineer, then it will be fine. And if some policy maker designs it with an engineering background, when policy maker makes it a point to see that, it has to be constructed in that way. When some other policy maker comes into picture and says that it has to be this way. So the result what we have shown in the Medigadda project will reflect ultimately on the civil engineer. That's what has happened. And tomorrow the world should look at the pure, true professional engineer who should have the guts to say. I am saying the people who have occupied in the public offices as an engineer, they have guts to say, no, this is not right a design and it can't sustain in times to come. That should be the gut of a chief engineer or any engineers who occupy in different hierarchies, and say that the engineer should do the engineering work, the policy maker has to do the policy, and if that doesn't come, take into tandem, we see lots of these things happen in times to come. So I would like to really thank Mr. Murthy Garu and also the South Indian chapter president and everybody over here who called me to address you and also to share your expertise and try to understand what this 2 days national conference which will think of innovation and excellence for tomorrow's world. I wish you all the best and I wish you good luck. Thank you.